Coming to you from Shreveport, Louisiana, a revolutionary podcast that is sure to grip and keep your attention. This is Sports at Night, real fans, real talk. Introducing first our guest, LA Tech alum and the one with info overdrive who keeps you all up to speed, Will the Beard Trahan, and the wildly talented actor, poet, and crazy man of the show that ramps up the fun, Javon Superman Miller. And the host of our show, with the unique insight of a scouting coach who fans need to hear from, Todd the Coach Knight. Ladies and gentlemen, crank up that volume and enjoy some Sports at Night.
Hey guys, here we are. This is it, the first official audio-based podcast on Sports at Night, real fans, real talk. Yes, I am your host, Todd the Coach Knight, and I got Javon Superman Miller and Will the Beard Trahan, as you guys have already heard now. And I'm just going to go and just kind of tip everybody off here on exactly what it all is we're covering today. The NBA free agency frenzy, it's all about to go down. Who is going where? A lot of big names to cover on that. We're going to talk about projecting the future for the New Orleans Pelicans. And guys, you guys are awfully quiet over there, but welcome.
Hey man, you gave one of the best introductions ever. I was just engulfed at the moment.
I definitely appreciate that, for sure.
I'm trying not to fall off the edge of my seat here.
Yeah, man.
I can tell.
Oh, yeah. Man. Hey, but to be honest with you, though, I am glad to be back. Heard but not seen, which is strange.
It's a little different.
It is a little different.
I think we definitely can get behind that, though.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. I'm just so used to actually, getting reactions when Trahan tells me that my favorite quarterback sucks. Or
he doesn't suck. He's just not as good as my favorite quarterback.
I'll get the freak out of here.
Anyway, we're also going to be going over the MLB All-Stars, who we felt like maybe got snubbed, perhaps, and we got some excitements.
Wearing my Freddie Freeman jersey right now.
Yep. That's exactly why we're doing this as an audio one, right? Because everybody wants to see that happen.
Yeah, man.
And then, of course, who is going to be the Patrick Mahomes of the 2019 NFL season? I mean, you were looking at somebody that just completely just came out of nowhere, frankly. I mean, just to go on and have, an all-time-ish, kind of season. Right. Seriously. But, man, let's go ahead and just get down to the brass tacks here, man. The NBA free agency, it starts tomorrow. This is June 29th, 2019. Free agency starts tomorrow. And, I mean, lots of big names to sit there and run over. Kevin Durant, he's got plenty of options at this point, in spite of his torn Achilles. There's 4 teams that he's looking at. He's already turned down the $31 million option offered by the Warriors. Now, there's still a chance he could go there, mind you. But, I mean, reports are that he's eyeing the Knicks, the Nets, some saying even the Clippers. And in regards to the Warriors, they have already offered Clay the max of 5 years, $190 million. But where does that leave Draymond Green? Right? I mean, something's got to happen here with where Green's concerned, because right now I'm pretty sure he's seeing red. Just thinking about that.
Well, he's a hothead anyway, so he's going to always see red if it ain't going his way. He a prima donna.
True that.
He a prima donna. He blurts off at the mouth, and he's nothing like a Dennis Rodman. Rodman took whatever they offered him. He took that money and he stayed with the Bulls because he knew that was a championship caliber team and he wanted to win championships.
He went to the Pistons.
Yeah.
No, he went to the Pistons. He started with the Pistons.
Didn't you guys catch what Dennis Rodman had said about Draymond Green?
Oh yeah, said he would have him eating out his hand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe that too.
I do too.
Oh man, Draymond would have never wanted
Rodman
to see
can get in anybody's head.
Yeah, but Rodman's one of those guys that he's just weird.
He's very weird.
On a different level.
Draymond Green's not exactly a normal person.
Yeah, but Draymond Green's one of those people, like, I feel like, and don't get me wrong, I hate the player Draymond Green, but when you hear him in interviews, he's like, yeah, you could just see how he's just a fiery dude. Like, Dennis Rodman was our ambassador for North Korea. If that tells you.
Hey, the man stopped nuclear war. Look, here's my thing, right? Rodman had the team in mind. He was team minded. He was team orientated. He was the same way with the Pistons. He was sort of that way with the Spurs. They were boring, and he didn't like boring.
Right.
He just wanted to get away from boring. But when he got to the Bulls, he was free to do whatever he wanted to do, and he loved that. So he's all about the team. I don't believe that Draymond is completely about the team. I believe Draymond got a little bit of, I want to do things for Draymond.
I don't know, man. I think Draymond may be a glue guy. I think his value may be over. I want to say he's part of the big four, but I think if you ranked that big four, Draymond's number 4.
Yeah.
And it's not
by
close.
a country mile.
It's not close.
Yeah.
Oh, I roll with
is.
that, baby.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say something that maybe people agree with, maybe not, but this is just from me. And I didn't watch Dennis Rodman. I was not able to watch the NBA in that time, seeing as to how I was not
born.
I was born, but I wasn't. My brain had not developed yet. I didn't start watching the NBA until like the mid 2000s. So whenever I see Draymond, I think like he always gives 110%, and that's something you want. He is pretty selfless. I mean, dude's a triple-double machine if he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not the guy, like if every other star from the Warriors left and Draymond was the face of the franchise, they wouldn't be a very interesting team.
Exactly.
They wouldn't be an interesting team, and they wouldn't be a very good team, frankly.
And if we're ranking the 1 through 4, let me just put it this way. If you told me that I could pick somebody off of the Warriors team as constructed from this past year, healthy, to start my franchise with, most people will expect me to pick Steph. I'm picking Clay. Not KD, not Steph, and not Draymond. Because Draymond, glue guy, but he's a bit of a hothead. That he's the reason they lost to the Cavaliers in the finals.
Very true.
Steph
definitely had a big say in that.
Steph is awesome, but I really almost cussed talking about it. I really hate watching him get fouls on those cheap where he like acts like he's gonna shoot and then he just like throws the ball up and puts his shoulder into it. Those kind of fouls make me very angry. And just the babyface assassin thing, I'm not on board with. Great player, gonna be a Hall of Famer, just not on board with it. One of the best shooters ever.
Yeah. This still looks a little puby.
Clay literally tore his ACL and told him he needed 2 minutes. I'll be able to go back in.
Mm-hmm.
You never hear from him. You never hear anything bad about him. Mm-hmm. You never hear about him being pissed that all these other players that he plays with is getting talked about. He is the younger, better Iguodala of that team.
Yeah, I agree.
That is a very unique assessment. I've never heard it put that way, but I really do like that.
I completely agree with it, too.
And I think the Warriors did the right thing. I mean, if they offer KD the Supermax, which I think he's eligible for like 5 years, close to $200 million, okay? And they spend over $1 billion on these 4 players, good for them. But next year is going to be basically a red shirt. It's going to be a red shirt year for Clay until the playoffs, and KD probably the whole year, okay? Because they're not going to rush him back, especially after what happened in these finals.
No, definitely not.
But I see here Bleacher Report put out that Klay Thompson and the Warriors have reached an agreement. He's going to be there on a 5-year max, 5-year $190. And the fact that I just talked about him with Todd and Javon earlier, that Kemba Walker, I'm very excited that he may be going to the Celtics. But he got placed on the All-NBA list over Klay Thompson, which I think is a travesty. Because if you tell me out of Klay or Kemba who I'm taking, it's going to be Klay 10 out of 10 times.
Real talk.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
And his defense.
And that's not taking anything away from Kemba Walker, but whenever you compare the two, I mean, especially two healthy versions of each other, then you're taking Klay all day.
All day.
All day long. I mean,
even Klay at 80%.
Klay is very steady. Klay is very steady.
He is.
But I'm going to disagree with you on one thing, and it's only going to be just if I had to choose between Klay and KD, I'm going with KD, and that's just only because of KD's skill set.
Oh, KD is more talented than anybody.
Yeah,
I think KD is better than LeBron at this point.
Yeah, he is.
But the extra
Kevin Durant is the best player in
absolutely,
basketball.
But an extra
that is the end of the story. I think the only one certainly at this point, and he is a free agent, as we all know, Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi
Right.
Leonard
You can absolutely make a tremendous argument.
Absolutely,
for it at this point.
and that's pretty much flash versus skill, because Kawhi basically is Mr. Fundamental.
Can I
And
say?
KD is like 7 foot. He's going to drain the three. He's going to dunk. He's doing all these flashy moves. But I really think that the extracurricular stuff with Kevin Durant, the burner accounts, the mood swings, all the I mean, when he was in OKC, we thought he was a model citizen. Then he went to Golden State, and the truth came out.
The truth came out.
The truth came. He's a prima donna. He
Yeah,
is
yeah.
LeBron James all over again.
Okay?
He's a diva.
He's a diva, dude.
That's and you guys know me. I'm an emotional guy.
Yeah.
I want the guy who is loyal. I want the guy who is going to bring his lunch pail. Like, I would rather take a step back in talent and have a better character guy on my team. That's why I'm excited for this Kimba thing. Okay, but KD, that is an emotional roller coaster of which I cannot handle, because that dude is up one day, down the next.
Can I say something about Kawhi Leonard real quick?
Go ahead. 'cause
I'm
I've got a really interesting thing to throw out there with Kawhi after you're done with this.
Good, man. I just wanted to say something, and this gonna mean a lot coming from me. And Kawhi Leonard will never meet me in his life. He don't give two bit spits about me. But for the first time, I could say in my lifetime, I've watched a man have what I call that Michael Jordan syndrome, bro. That boy played like MJ, man. He was in the zone. He hit big shots whenever big shots was needed. Every single game that they played, man. I hadn't seen that since MJ, man. I'm sorry. I haven't seen what I saw since Michael Jordan played basketball, man. A guy so focused, so into the game that nothing else mattered. And you can tell nothing else mattered about Kawhi. Whenever Golden State did their big runs like they normally do, Kawhi still was always in the game, man. He always hit the shot to shut them the hell up. I hadn't seen that kind of focus since Michael Jordan, man. And I don't know why it doesn't get mentioned more on these undisputed shows and first takes, because that boy had the Michael Jordan eye, man, and I hadn't seen that in a very long time, and it made me excited to watch basketball again.
That proverbial eye of the tiger.
That eye of the tiger,
Yeah.
that nothing's gonna stop me from getting this championship.
And there was something a little different about Kawhi this time than with the Spurs. When he won MVP with the Spurs, you know, he seemed like the young and up and coming guy.
Yeah, he was.
He had Duncan to lean back on. He had Parker to lean back on.
Ginobili,
Even Manu.
yeah.
Yeah. He had Danny Green with him,
Yes.
which he had him this time too.
True that.
And he had Pop, who was at that point already established as the best head coach.
The
in
best
NBA.
head coach ever.
This year, he had Danny Green, which was a familiar face, Kyle Lowry, who has made a career out of choking, and Pascal Siakam, who is basically a more athletic version of Draymond Green, can do it all.
He won Most Improved Player as
Absolutely.
well last year, and deservingly so.
And
nobody knew who the hell Siakam was.
Yeah, nobody-
prior to the season.
absolutely. And
Everybody
I
knows
want to
who he is now,
I want
though.
to shout out Mr. Todd Knight, because probably midway through the season,
He did say something about
midway
Siakam.
through
I
the
remember
season,
that. I
we
remember
were
that.
talking about what the postseason was going to look like, and he brought up Pascal Siakam, and
He
neither
did.
one of us had heard of him
Had
yet,
not even
'cause
heard of
I
the
don't
dude,
watch the
man.
Raptors that much,
was
and
like,
the Celtics
Todd,
season was so bad, I had kind of just stopped watching basketball. Todd Knight threw out, watch this guy, and he ends up getting, you know, one of the MVP, not the MVP, but he was one of the MVPs
he was.
of the finals.
Yeah,
And so shout out Todd Knight, he knows what he's talking about.
Big night,
Thank
big
you.
night,
Thank
big
you.
night.
But
Coach.
I will say, I've never seen somebody, even when LeBron won that championship for Cleveland, it did not feel like he did it by himself. This one felt like Kawhi put that whole team and the entire country of Canada, not just Toronto, the entire country on his back. And it was just like, bored man.
Good
gets
God, he turned into Superman,
like,
bro.
it's something that
was
it was
amazing to
watching
sit there and
a
watch that.
robot. It was watching a robot, because he could dunk, he could drop a three, he could win. Like, the only emotional time I saw him was when he hit that game winner against Philadelphia in the playoffs.
And he
And who
never
could blame him?
Exactly, that was one. Like, anytime you beat
Game 7,
anytime you
winner
beat
advances to the
any
Eastern Conference
Philadelphia
Finals.
team,
Yeah.
I celebrate. Even if I hate you, if you beat a Philadelphia team, because I hate the city of Philadelphia sports in every sport. Hate them.
Brother, they went down 2-0 against the Greek Freak, and they came back.
And Kawhi shut him down.
Shut him down.
Shut him
man.
down.
Against the Greek
The eventual
Freak.
MVP of the league.
And shut him down.
Exactly.
That's another discussion I have.
that's
I don't
another-
agree with the way they do the MVP. That is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I still wish that they did it during the playoffs.
I wish they would do it before the playoffs. Like, give the regular season award as the regular season ends, because you say the Greek Freak was the MVP, yet Kawhi shut him down and then won the finals. So who was the real MVP?
Yeah, and I love the Greek Freak, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm the one that always yelling Greek Freak.
He's
Greek
the future.
Freak. I love the dude, man. He's
Yeah.
the future of basketball. He just got to develop a 3-pointer. But man, besides that, the Greek Freak is the man. But Kawhi Leonard just said, "You know what? I'm gonna freak you out, freak." Mm-hmm. Come on, Todd. Give me some of that stuff that I want to hear about.
Well, what I'm going to throw out here is going still piggybacking on Kawhi Leonard a little bit.
Yeah.
Reports that surfaced yesterday like mad crazy because there's been a lot of reports that have come out.
So many.
Yeah, especially in regards to the Kawhi.
So many.
Naturally, he's being linked to the Lakers now.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, and Magic Johnson, the former president of basketball operations over there with the Lakers, had gotten word that Kawhi wanted for Magic and Jeannie Buss, the team's owner, to be the only one sitting in on that meeting. Well, the NBA is not allowing for Magic to be present for that. Now, is Kawhi going to still sit there and be like, well, I can't really fault Magic for that. I mean, he can't really be a part of it, but I mean, I think it's going to be one of those like really, really dicey situations. And I mean, my personal thoughts, I think that Kawhi goes back to Toronto.
I think so too.
And I know that Toronto, he's come out and said that Toronto gets the final say in this. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that actually get the last pitch. So Toronto still has all the chips on the table. Mm-hmm. But where does that leave the Clippers? I mean, if he goes from the Raptors to the Lakers to be teamed up with LeBron James, Anthony Davis,
the Hydrant,
and the Los Angeles Clippers have done everything imaginably right in the book to be able to bring in their hometown guy as well, only to see him go to the Lakers?
That'll make you poop.
That would be an absolute travesty in my mind.
And it's so sad because the Clippers are just one player away from a championship. Do you
Look what
see
they did against a fully strengthened Warriors
I was
team.
about to... You took the words right out of my mouth. They pushed the Warriors to their limit.
To the brink.
Frankly. They're
that
really...
comeback that they had in like game 2 or something, 30-plus points at the Oracle?
They one player away.
Break.
Forgive my ignorance. Who is their pillar players? Because I know they traded away Tobias Harris, right? Traded him to Philly.
Yeah.
So who's their guy?
That's the thing. There really isn't a guy.
They're really not.
They just misfits that play together as a team.
And they played very well together.
Doc Rivers, I mean, you know this.
Doc got
hell
him.
of a coach.
Hell of a coach.
Listen, I mean, he may have won a championship over there with the Celtics, but last year was his best coaching performance he's ever had.
Man, if they get Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard, I say that they get a championship. I mean, either one. It doesn't matter. If they get just one of those, because they really are one superstar away, because they don't have any superstars.
Right.
They have a team. They do need one superstar, man, to just bring it all together. And them boys got a ring on their finger, man. They should have beat Golden State. Golden State shouldn't have got past them, really.
The conversation that we would all be having about that team, that Golden State Warrior team, and the timeline that we're at right now would be completely different.
As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and call it like it was. Kevin Durant saved them in that Clipper series. He did. He pulled off some magical play in that Clipper series that saved them.
Well, we also know here, I mean, we can talk about Kevin Durant all we want and everything, and where he's going and what the future holds for him. We know that he's basically sitting out next season. He has to rehab that Achilles.
Got to.
But I'm going to give this back over to you, Will, so that you can talk a little bit about somebody that's leaving your Boston Celtics.
Oh,
we already know that that's happening, and I know
spot.
You've been itching for this like mad crazy. What are your thoughts on one Kyrie Irving?
Mr. Irving, if you are listening to this podcast,
Which we all know he is.
shoot me a tweet. I will help you pack up your house to get out of Boston.
For all of our listeners out there, what is your Twitter handle?
At LaTeX Trahan.
Beautiful.
I cannot stress this enough. I want nothing to do with the player known as Kyrie. This guy is the bane of my NBA fanhood. I cannot stand the messy ass looking beard, the nappy ass afro, and the attitude that he knows everything. I hate Kyrie Irving now. Not only as a player, I hate him as a person. Like, if I see him in the street, I'm probably going to flip him off. And it's not just because he's leaving the Celtics. If he'd have came here and if he would have, played his best and he wanted to go somewhere else, I have nothing but respect for Al Horford. Okay?
Oh, me too.
Al Horford is one of my favorite Celtics that I've ever watched.
Ever, yeah.
And he's only been there for 3 years. And
Love
the reason
that
I
dude.
say that is he's what I talked about earlier. He's a glue guy. He's one of those guys that he may just get 15 and 7 rebounds, but those 15 points and 7 rebounds are just part of the story. He's going to, set the pick and roll up. He's going to open up things for other people. And he plays very, very consistent defense. He's one of the only players that I saw consistently lock down a healthy Joel Embiid.
Man, that's hard. That's
And
a
that's
hard.
hard.
Task,
That's
man.
right.
That's a
Joel
hard task.
Embiid is a generational talent, and Al Horford, I believe, got in his head. And the Celtics and Sixers are rivals and play each other a lot. And I'm not saying that Al Horford went, 173-0 against him, but he won more times than he lost against Embiid. Now,
Horford is to me is like the.
he's a
is like the
consummate
ultimate
professional.
Yeah, exactly.
He is the consummate professional.
Exactly.
You can put him on any of the 30 teams, and he is automatically, A, going to be a locker room leader, and B, he is going to make the efficiency of other players go up.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Which is unusual, especially in today's game, for a big man to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
He's
But
very
he's not-
fundamental too,
Right,
man.
and he could play.
Yes.
He's one of those players that can play all 5 positions. If the Celtics or whatever team he goes to get in some sort of terrible pinch, and they're down to 5 players and they're all big men, put Al Horford at the point.
He'll step up.
He's just one of those players
It's been proven at this point.
that
man.
it doesn't. Even if he went to the Lakers, I would wish him nothing but the best. But Kyrie Irving, I hope that this guy never wins another championship. And I said some crazy stuff earlier to Todd that I'm not going to repeat.
I appreciate that because we definitely don't want to alienate
But
everybody.
I do
here.
want to say that he got every single thing that he asked for in Cleveland.
handed to him on a
He
silver
got out
platter.
of LeBron's shadow. He was the quote unquote the guy in Boston. They gave him the keys to the freaking Lexus
Yes, they did.
and said, "Hey, lead our uber talented roster
Our troops.
to a championship." We went to the Eastern Conference Finals with Isaiah Thomas. We're going to plug you in. We're going to get even farther. He got hurt. We went to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron. With nobody. With Gordon Hayward
Amazing.
and Kyrie hurt for all of the playoffs.
And may I add, that was an amazing Celtics team too. And remember that year, I rooted for them. I hate the Celtics, bro, but I rooted for y'all. I was telling you, I told you straight up on the show. I said, man, look, this is a great underdog story, man. You guys was winning without your superstar.
But see, I think that was actually what undid the Celtics.
Okay.
You've got all this young talent. Terry Rozier, 23. Jason Tatum, 20. Jaylen Brown, 21. Marcus Smart, 24. Hell, even Marcus Morris was, 27. Then you got Kyrie, who's only 26, and Gordon Hayward, who's 29. Both of those guys are elite, or were elite at the time. Unfortunately, you lost Gordon Hayward within the first 6 minutes of the season. Terrible injury.
True.
Then you lost Kyrie to what has plagued him his whole career, knee injuries.
Yeah.
Okay, he missed the finals with Cleveland with a knee injury.
And being kind of an enigmatic head case.
Oh,
as well.
I haven't even gotten to that yet.
Yeah.
But
Horford,
you
yeah.
had Terry Rozier who stepped up, Jaylen Brown stepped up, Jason Tatum stepped up. All these guys are like, hey, we deserve to be here. We made it to the Eastern Conference Finals playing together. And then when you reintroduced Kyrie and Gordon Hayward to the fold, those young guys had a problem taking a step back because they felt they deserved more minutes, and maybe they did.
Yeah, the chemistry of the team was disrupted.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
but
big
that
time.
was, when you have that many mouths to feed, that's something that should have been taken care of by
yes.
Kyrie Irving. If you're the
Absolutely.
face of the franchise, you have got to keep your players in line.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, he alienated his players. He did to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown what LeBron did to him. Made him the little brother, made him the number 2, made him the beta, and told them that he was coming back. He said, if you'll have me, I'm going to resign this summer. And then, when things started not going his way, ask me again July 1st.
Right.
Then, when
right.
the season, the regular season ended, I'm here to talk about the playoffs. Y'all just wait for the playoffs. And then put up a complete goose egg in the playoffs. He played, that's some of the worst Kyrie basketball that I have ever seen.
Miserably.
His shooting percentage was abysmal. His assists were abysmal. You basically had a bunch of young guys watching Kyrie dribble the ball and shoot.
Yeah.
How do you win 5 straight playoff games and then lose 4 straight?
Hey, he learned from the greatest douchebag of all time, which just so happened to play on the opposite end of the spectrum. He's over there in the Celtics stinking y'all up while I feel LeBron is hindering us as well. Because LeBron likes to let everybody watch him score.
But say what you want about LeBron and the way he treated the Lakers, all those young guys, he basically said, hey, I want y'all traded for Anthony Davis. And that sucked.
Dick, man.
But at least LeBron proved that he could drag teams to the NBA Finals. He drugged that 08 Cavaliers team where his second best player was Mo Williams or Anderson Varejao.
Or Drew Gooden.
Exactly. Then,
Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
whenever Kyrie got traded, he drug Richard Jefferson, Anderson Varejao again, Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith. Drugged those guys to the finals.
Anderson Varejao look a little like Carrot Top? Just a little bit.
Hey, good for Anderson Varejao, though.
Shout out to you on that one,
He's been
Josh
in the
Hill.
league forever.
Big
But
deal.
you got all these guys who are wouldn't even be 6 man on other teams that LeBron's drugged. Kyrie had 2 number 3 overall picks.
I meant Sideshow Bob.
Horford was a number 3 overall pick and a perennial All-Star with the Hawks. Gordon Hayward. Now, obviously, he was coming off an injury that probably shook him down to his core. But he was an All-NBA player. Mm-hmm. You had Marcus Smart, who is and will always be my favorite basketball player in the entire NBA. Marcus Smart is I'm pretty sure if you cut him right now, green's coming out. Okay? If you can't win with that core, and they're a mainly defensive team with a defensive coach, and you're an offensive superstar.
Very good defensive team at that.
I mean, Horford, all of them, Marcus Morris, Smart, even Jason Tatum has made strides. Jaylen Brown, that's his bread and butter is defense because boy can't shoot.
Yeah. Hey, go back to the previous podcast. I've said something about the Celtics defense on more than one occasion.
That's why I'm excited about
for sure.
Kemba Walker because for all the diva qualities, and I know I've talked a long time about Kyrie, and I'm not going to talk anymore about it because he just pisses me off. Every time I see him, my blood pressure goes up. I want to buy a number 11 jersey just to burn it because he's stupid and I hate him. But Kemba Walker is the anti-Kyrie. He is bring your lunch pail to work. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to run my players silently, keep it in-house.
Yeah.
And, Kemba is he drugged UConn to a national championship. Okay? He has literally been the only relevant player in Charlotte for the past decade.
Wow.
Nicholas Batum is the best Al Jefferson, the two best players he's played with.
Yeah.
Wow.
They did nothing anywhere else. Okay? And I hope that the Celtics sign Kemba. Nothing's definite until they actually sign the papers. Just ask the Mavericks and DeAndre Jordan. But
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I really think that the Celtics are going to have a bounce back year, and I think that as much as they lost, Al Horford's going to be a huge loss. Kyrie, I don't think they're going to miss him. Nobody, I'm a very, not many people here are Celtics fans, but from all the podcasts and guys that I listen to and read,
You've said it on many occasions, bro.
many people don't like Kyrie. Like, the city of Boston will help him go to Brooklyn. And Kyrie, this is the cherry on top of the S-word sandwich. Okay? He says that he wants to go to Brooklyn because of the way that their franchise is set up to succeed. Name me a more functional, successful franchise than the Boston Celtics. 17 NBA championships. They've had like 3 GMs ever.
Kyrie, man, you've been smoking.
Like, he got everything.
Crack, man.
Got everything he wanted and could not do it. Could not do it. And honest to God.
And complained about it.
And complained.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I really hope that he goes to Brooklyn. They get rid of D'Angelo Russell, and then they miss the playoffs. Because D'Angelo Russell led in the playoffs, and if Kyrie misses the playoffs or gets hurt, it's going to be so satisfying.
Slap in the face.
And the Celtics are going to be in the playoffs. They may not be the 1 or 2 seed, but they're going to be in the playoffs.
Right.
And if Brooklyn misses it, that will be so satisfying.
Okay, so we're gonna march on, get ready for our next topic here. We've spent a good half an hour. No, it's okay.
Sorry.
It's all good, bro.
I had a lot of feelings on him that I've been
I understand that.
pent up.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about the about NBA free agency and everything. It's starting tomorrow. Stay tuned for the next segment here. We're going to be going on to the Pelicans. Are they ready to fly finally? This is Sports at Night, guys. Stay tuned.
This podcast was designed to give fans the unique opportunity to speak about their greatest passion, sports. We currently specialize in football, however, we also cover basketball, baseball, and hockey. Our show is meant to be informative, comedic, and sometimes can get, a little intense. We are not limited only to local sports, but are looking to include our insight on sports on a national level. This is what you can be sure to expect in our podcasts that take place all over the country. We are the voice of the people. This is Sports at Night. Real fans, real talk.
We are back. Welcome to Sports at Night, Real Fans, Real Talk. And I'm just going to go ahead and just dive back in here. We were talking in the last segment, Pelicans. The state of the franchise. This is kind of a very hot topic, especially around here in Louisiana and everything. Everything, of course, all really kind of stemmed from the bad relationship that ended in a horrible divorce with the New Orleans Pelicans and Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Fast forward to up until roughly 2 or 3 weeks ago, where the trade happened, the blockbuster of trades.
Woo!
Right? So I got right here what the details of this trade basically entailed. The Pelicans, they basically took Anthony Davis, Solomon Hill, the number 57 pick, and a future second-round pick into the following: Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, the number 8 pick, which was Jackson Hayes, the center from Texas. Then they got the number 17 pick, which is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a shooting guard, right? From Virginia Tech, I believe. I'm pretty sure. But then the number 35 pick, Marcos Luzada Silva, from Brazil, right? The 2020 protected first-round pick from the Hawks, a 2021 protected first-round pick from the Lakers, a 2023 unprotected pick swapping with the Lakers, a 2024 unprotected first-round pick from the Lakers with the right to defer to 2025. Yeah, I need to take a breath after that. Dude, seriously, guys. That is like the NBA version of a Herschel Walker type of trade.
Absolutely.
Man,
Seriously.
God, I cannot curse on this show. but I want to so bad. Because I want to say that that's some BS. You're going to give up. The Lakers basically gave up a lifeline for this man.
Literally everything they could, basically.
Including the kitchen sink.
And they laid here and gave...
Like, here's our toilet. Take that, too.
Yeah.
They gave the Pelicans young players who could possibly develop into superstars that they didn't even get a chance to prove themselves.
And we hadn't even mentioned Zion yet.
Oh, give me a second. give me one hot second, please, Lord Jesus.
Sure.
And then Alonzo Ball, which he might not have been just a great dude, but he still was a decent player. Alonzo Ball, to me, I like Alonzo Ball. His dad
He's a good defender.
Yeah, he's a good defender, and his dad is a retard, but that's nothing on him. and excuse me if somebody get offended about retard, but I really don't care. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, and then we're talking Zion. We're talking about the future of the NBA coming to the NBA.
The New Orleans Pelicans have begun their not rebuilding project, but their building project
man. They
with
ready.
an absolute bang.
They ready, baby.
Seriously.
That is. I heard an old man say turning shush into sugar. You know what I mean? I used to.
That's a pretty good summarization.
But that's good though. I'm glad because that gets to smack AD in the face a little bit, slap him in the face a little bit because
Slap that brow right off him.
Yeah, he prematurely left that team, man, because they were going to build. They already had it in their mind to build around him and Zion. They was going to make it work. And
it was available to him all of a sudden.
It was available, yeah. But he wanted to get out of there so bad. He just needed to get away from New Orleans so bad. A team that was they were just waiting for the right time to give him everything that he needed.
And New Orleans and Zion have, embraced each other with such open arms.
Oh, man.
And Drew Brees, he's signed jersey. Here, I'm passing the torch to you once I'm done.
Yeah.
This is your city. This is
your
your legacy to lead this now.
Yeah, man. And that's in New Orleans, as crappy as people may say that city is. Because some people, you can go down there and get drunk and have fun, but they still say the city crappy. After Hurricane Katrina and everything and broke that city up so bad, they say it's crappy. But let me tell you something about the people of the city of New Orleans. When you theirs, they're going to embrace you with open arms, man, and they will take care of you, and they will love you, kiss you in the streets, give you hugs in the street, throw you some money if you need it.
Hardcore.
And they're going to take care of Zion, man. He's going to be well taken care of down there. Hell, I'm going to take a trip down there and shake his hand. Look, it's all good in the hood.
I'm telling you. There's a reason that Sean Payton has not went to coach Dallas.
Exactly.
There's a reason that Dallas has not been able to lure him away from the Saints.
Yes, sir.
And, there's no baseball team in Louisiana. It's literally the Pelicans and the Saints.
That's it.
And all. Anthony Davis, it never felt like he truly embraced New Orleans. It always felt like he was reserved. And that was just the type of guy that he was. But then you see that he made these demands to get traded and he wanted to go to New York or Los Angeles. And you see what type of person he is. He's the LeBron James type of person. He's going to use the situation to get the best for himself. And hopefully, it works out for him.
Okay? And he's not a leader either. He's a second flank man. I see that now. At first, I loved AD because I thought AD was a leader. I thought that he was a LeBron type, where he or a Steph Curry type, or
where he's the leader of men.
He's the leader of men. Yeah. I stand in front of you. You get behind me, guys, and I'll lead you to the promised land.
A true alpha.
Right.
But he's not. That's why he went over there to LeBron, because he don't mind taking second fiddle, because he's not an alpha.
But this is what I hope happens. And I know you're a Lakers fan, and I do, despite all my jabs at you, I do hope your sports teams succeed. Not at the expense of my teams, but obviously, I hope they succeed.
I hope mine.
To make you happy.
I hope mine don't.
The Lakers, think about this. What if the AD experiment doesn't work?
Ooh.
What if it's a Kyrie Irving situation where at the end of the year, everything goes wrong? Ooh. He gets hurt. LeBron gets hurt. They miss the playoffs against some. I don't think it's possible for a team with AD and LeBron James to miss the playoffs simply just because of their talent. But let's just say they get the 4th, 5th, 6th seed when they're expected to be the favorites. Okay? And then you get bounced out of the playoffs first, second round. And you see that Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss cannot run this organization the way that people remember the Lakers being ran, as a point of stability. Mm-hmm. I mean, because for the past 5, 6, 7 years, this team's kind of been a laughing stock of the NBA.
Yeah.
Especially since Kobe left, it's kind of just been a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's been a dumpster fire. Yeah.
Okay, and the fact that you're number one most loved athlete of all time, more than Kobe, Magic, couldn't run the team because he got snaked out or whatever the situation was. We'll never know the real truth.
Yeah.
Whatever happened
that's
between...
one of those things where you only know...
You only know what he said.
Right. Yeah, like I said...
Whatever happened between Magic, Rob Pelinka, and Jeannie Buss, whatever happened there was obviously, at the very least, you can say that there was dysfunction.
Big time.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Magic did lure LeBron to the Lakers. That
For better or worse.
That cannot be... And a lot of teams tried. The Lakers succeeded.
Well, former athletes do that all the time. We only got Peyton Manning because of John Elway.
I mean, you saw whenever.
You know what I mean? Real talk.
That kind of is the equivalent.
And I hate to keep throwing my team out there, but you saw what the Celtics did when KD was up for free agency when he left the Thunder. Mm-hmm. He took 3 meetings: the Warriors, the Thunder, and the Celtics.
Uh-huh.
The Celtics brought everybody from the town of Boston, not just Celtics. They had the entire Celtics roster show up for the KD meeting. They brought Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, and Bill Belichick, and they brought David Ortiz. Those are some heavy hitters in the town of Boston.
Yeah.
Okay?
You gonna come with us, David.
Yeah. And they tried to sell him on what it's like being an athlete in Boston, which is what Magic did with LeBron with the Lakers.
Yeah.
If you're a star, if you bring a championship to the Lakers, you're royalty.
You're royalty, baby.
And he sold that idea. And I'm sure that Rich Paul, being the same agent for LeBron and for Anthony Davis, had a lot to do with Anthony Davis demanding to go to the Lakers. I mean, that was his whole end goal, was to get to the Lakers. That's the reason Boston didn't trade for him, is because Rich Paul and Anthony Davis said, hey, Boston, doesn't matter, what happens, we can win an NBA championship. I'm not re-signing. So they're not going to trade Jason Tatum. And... that stuff.
So then at that point, why would you release all your assets for nothing?
Exactly. For 1 year of what may or may not work, and you just got off this experiment with Kyrie Irving that blew up in your face. Why would you go right back into a volatile situation like that?
We definitely need to hop back onto the Pelicans here.
That's where I'm going. The Pelicans... They took advantage of the Lakers because the Lakers were basically bidding against themselves because nobody else had the assets besides Boston, and everybody knew that the Lakers were where AD wanted to end up.
Right,
so the Lakers pretty much drove the price up, and I will give them respect because the Kyle Kuzma was one of the players that the Pelicans really, really wanted. Dude's a good player, okay, and they said no. But what I will say is that what they came out with. Lonzo Ball, number 2 overall pick.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, number 2 overall pick.
Yes, indeed.
Josh Hart, he's a good shooter. Mm-hmm. He's a good role player.
Mm-hmm.
But all those draft picks, I mean, if that team blows up, the Lakers blow up, and LeBron leaves and AD leaves, they're going to be a bottom-of-the-barrel lottery team. And they're going to be basically sucking for the Pelicans to get all those good picks up until 2025. I mean, think about it. LeBron is how old in 2019?
He's 34. Yeah, he'll be 34.
Mm-hmm. So, and his contract runs for 3 more years.
The miles on those tires are a lot different than your average.
So LeBron at 37 in 2022, it's going to look a lot different than the LeBron of last year.
For sure, yeah.
And that still leaves 2023, 2024, 2025 first-round picks that go to the Pelicans in what we would assume is the post-LeBron era, right? At least the post-LeBron. Exactly. And maybe Anthony Davis carries your team, but you saw what happened to the Nets when they traded all their picks for a win-now moment. The Celtics reaped those benefits for a long time. The Lakers may be kicking themselves down the road, but I think they had to get rid of those young players to win now. That's what you signed up for when you signed LeBron.
Yeah, you want them. It was to win now.
Right.
Yeah, you're not building for the future. You're building.
But the GM
championship or bust.
Originating something or creating something simply for the present.
But their GM is stupid Simply
There's a
by
reason
making
why his
the
ass isn't there anymore, huh?
Well, no, Palinka's still there.
Well, but,
he's still calling the shots.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking. Still, whenever I think about the Magic,
you think about Magic?
I think about Magic because I mean, Pelinka, he's been kind of the guy that's just been
in the shadows.
Exactly.
In the shadows, yeah.
Exactly.
The snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, the snake in the shadows. Snake in the grass.
Magic wouldn't have done this. Magic wouldn't have let this trade happen. I don't think so.
Well, not even that. Even the trade that he constructed, when it was announced, the trade goes through July 6th when the new league year starts. If they would have waited till July 30th, they would have had an extra $4 or $5 million in cap space, which means they wouldn't have had to trade those 3 players, the only other 3 players they had on the roster, for a max contract space. So simply for the fact by doing the trade on July 6th instead of July 30th, they had to trade 3 players that they otherwise would not have had to.
This is depressing, Todd.
I'm sorry, Javon.
But hey, you got Anthony Davis.
No, but this is depressing, man. Because we're finna make New Orleans look amazing. And New Orleans is gonna be a good team, and I've said it, and I actually can prove it because I was having a Snapchat with a dude where I said that New Orleans is actually gonna be a good team because of this trade. And I will repeat it to the high mountains, man. That these dudes gonna be great. I think that Zion's gonna develop just fine. He has a work ethic. He's gonna be good. That kid's gonna be great.
And he's gonna have hell of role players.
He's gonna have
to help him develop. They're gonna grow together.
They're gonna grow together. They're gonna mesh together.
Yes,
man.
the Pelicans,
they're gonna be a team like the Bulls.
And their GM,
like the Bulls.
Their GM's the guy who brought Cleveland a championship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
think
guy,
about that for a second.
That guy,
and I love having Drew Holiday in there to run.
You got
to help
Drew,
things.
you got Lonzo,
yeah.
And I just got to update that the Pelicans are looking to sign Al Horford.
Oh God, look at
and
that!
Look, I told you,
man.
He could fit in on any team.
It's over with, bro.
But if you got Al Horford teaching. Zion, teaching Lonzo, teaching Ingram.
Mentorship.
God, you can't get better. You cannot get better than
2 to 3 years, them boys gonna have a ring on their finger.
Dude, if the Pelicans offer, because they got a lot of money to play with, because they got all these young guys on these cheap contracts.
Correct.
They offered Horford a 4. I will, honest to God, that would be the team that I could stomach Horford going to play for. Because if it was the Lakers, a little part of me would be pissed off. Because he went from Celtics to Lakers.
Yeah.
Even though it's Al
Don't
Horford.
go with the enemy.
Yeah,
Demarius Thomas.
That's going from the Yankees to the Red Sox.
Absolutely.
It's that kind of treachery.
That's like that. That's going from that's T.O. going from the Eagles to the Cowboys. Like
no. That's Demarius Thomas jumping from us to the Texans to the Patriots, man. Hey, look, I'm still angry about this, guys. Look, I don't want to let this go on this show because we do. I found a cheap Demarius Thomas jersey when I was in Denver. I just came back from Colorado, right? I saw that jersey, man. I couldn't set it on fire because I didn't want to go to jail. I was in the store, but I looked at it and I didn't even think twice.
You should have spit on it.
I wanted to so bad. I didn't even think twice, bro. I did not want it. I don't want number 88,
man.
But. Moral of the story is, I really think the Pelicans won this trade. I mean, they made out with the best haul that you can make out with while trading a superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what the Bulls got for Butler. Think about what, there have been what the Cavaliers got for Kyrie. They basically got nothing.
Nothing for Kyrie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the Pelicans.
Yeah, this
is about, with the exception of Kuzma, if they could have got Kuzma in there, that this was the best that they could do. They could trade for anybody too. You got to think. You got all these draft picks. If they are good in 2 years, they can trade for anybody. They got 5 Lakers first round picks plus their own first round picks. Let's trade for this guy. Let's trade for this guy. We're one piece away.
They were holding AD just for this deal.
Absolutely.
That's why they were holding AD. I promise you. I believe, Todd, that they were holding AD for this deal. They was like, look, we're gonna get max for this man.
Mm-hmm. They had to because they could not afford to let Anthony Davis walk
Right.
Can't do it.
and get nothing. This is not the NFL. You do not get compensatory picks for
Right.
losing somebody.
Yes, right. That's
But
right.
how fun would it have been to watch Zion and Anthony Davis play
man.
together?
That would have been
That
that is going to be 5-10 years down the road from now. That will ultimately be one of those what if scenarios. There's no question about that.
I
It would
would
be really interesting to see. I'm in total agreement with
That would have
that.
been one of the
I
most.
would have jumped in there through an alley.
Them two and Drew Holiday. Them two, Drew Holiday, and then sign Al Horford. That's a playoff team.
Ooh, shit.
Man, that's a fun.
And
That would have been a fun
so,
team.
With that being said, I mean, what is the Pelicans' floor? What is their ceiling? For me, I'm looking at this is the floor, and this is with everything that we've been talking about. We've been hyping the Pelicans up left and right. I get it, yada yada yada. For me, if the bottom just falls out, and this is like the disaster of disastrous years for Zion and the Pelicans in the first season together, they finished at the bottom 4 in the West. That is the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I feel like right now, as it currently stands, Horford or not, I mean anything that can happen. I feel like they're the number 4 seed in the Western Conference right now.
I can see that.
I don't know.
I
The Western
think that-
Conference is still stout.
It is very stout.
I'm talking about the ceiling. If,
the ceiling. Okay.
Best case scenario.
I thought that was your
think
prediction.
This season,
Got you.
This season, best case scenario, they are the 4 seed in the West. That's what I think. Because now that there's basically no Golden State Warriors, the West is wide open. And frankly, the league itself is wide open.
Yeah, but I think we got to put this in perspective. Okay, the Golden State Warriors still are going to have Steph. They're still going to have Draymond.
They are.
And then you got the
They can push
Lakers.
for a playoff spot.
But then you got the Lakers,
But they're not
the
a
Rockets
threat anymore for a championship.
I was about to say that.
I don't know,
but people are not going to be as scared of them without KD.
Well, you're right. They're not going to be
Or
as
Clay
scared.
for that
Well,
matter.
yeah,
Because he ain't going to play
You're
either.
right.
Yeah,
They're not going to
exactly.
be as scared. But you got to think the Pelicans are in the West. You still have the Rockets, which may or may not get Jimmy Butler.
Still got the Nuggets.
That's
Still
up
got the
for
Nuggets.
grabs, yeah.
You still got the Jazz, who just traded for Conley.
Yeah.
Portland.
Portland.
That's still there.
You still
The
got
Clippers.
The Spurs. Like you still got these.
Yeah, the
teams.
Spurs gonna always
because
be
they
a
got
playoff
DeRozan.
team,
They
yeah.
still have DeRozan. You still got. I mean, I think the ceiling. The beauty about New Orleans is there is absolutely zero pressure.
There's
There's zero pressure.
Yeah,
they got all these young
guys.
guys. They are building for the future. They could go. They could have the same record as the Knicks. People would still be excited because of what the future holds. I mean, hell, the floor is you get the number 1 overall pick again, or a top 2 pick again. You get another badass player to pair up with Zion. The ceiling is. You got Zion averages, 18, 19 points a year, gets Rookie of the Year, and he is a bona fide star. And
Yes.
you prove that you made the right choice going with Zion. I mean, there is, I'm not going to say no, there is very few ways that the Pelicans can, quote, screw this up.
Yeah.
Because even if your team is terrible, you could trade Drew Holiday to a contender and get even more draft capital.
Yeah.
Because Drew Holiday is a good player.
Or a different veteran that you feel would better fit.
Right. I mean, you unloaded Solomon Hill's contract. That was
helped
one of
immensely
the most
right there.
underrated moves. Is getting rid of that contract. That contract was terrible.
I got one for you. The floor is Zion gets injured.
That's
The floor is Zion get injured, and then they hit the bottom of the barrel,
That's
and then
true.
they got to go look for another young star in the draft, right?
God forbid
well.
something like that.
Even if he gets injured, though, you can still make that a positive by saying, "Hey, we got another lottery pick. We got another lottery pick, and Zion's going to come back healthy."
Well,
with this guy."
that's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about the floor
Yeah.
for this season coming up. I'm just saying
For sure. I
And-
mean-
Yeah, we're focused right now. We're ultimately focused strictly on the 1920 season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The ceiling is they become another Denver Nuggets, a team that comes out of nowhere and shoots to the top
with all these young,
with all these young,
and
amazing
it's a
players.
possibility.
The ceiling,
It really is.
Yeah, it is a possibility. They could be a Nuggets, man. Who did y'all expect the Nuggets to be as good as they were last year?
Absolutely not.
No way. We not one of us. We all love sports. Not one of us saw that.
Hey, I think any team that Louisiana Tech alum Paul Millsap is on is going to win the championship.
And that is from the great one.
I may be biased.
Yeah.
Just a smidge. And on that lovely note, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next subject lining here.
Okay.
So just giving everybody kind of a heads up, we're going to be talking about the MLB All-Stars and everything. Astros leading the charge. They got 3 starters going in. And be sure to stay tuned for the next segment of the MLB All-Star break. This is Sports Tonight, Real Fans, Real Talk. We will be right back after these messages.
Obviously, they were joking.
So, yes, we are back. This is Sports at Night, Real Fans, Real Talk. Your host here, Todd, the Coach Knight, and Will, the Beard Trahan, Javon, Superman Miller, of course. And we're going to go ahead and hop in here. MLB All-Star break is coming up here. And we all know that it's taking place at Cleveland's Progressive Field here on July 9th. There's some definite All-Stars that I'm really, really excited by. Second baseman Ketel Marte with the D-backs. I love this guy. Second year for the Dominican Republic, looks like an amazing man. Marte, excuse me. Thank you. Will, you could have said that. It was fine.
It's Ketel Marte.
Ketel Marte, yeah. My pronunciations is a little.
And baseball is one of those sports. And it's real hard to figure out how to say some of the names.
But I am thoroughly amazed. Christian Yelich with the Brewers. I mean, he has been just absolutely killing it. Batting .335. He's got 29 homers already.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I mean, how could you not talk about Mike Trout whenever it's All-Star break time? This guy is only the 6th starter who has been to the All-Star break now 6 times before the age of 28. The other names include, if you will, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Ivan Rodriguez, Ray Carew, and your guy, Superman, Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, come on, man. Hey, look, hold on. Did you just have to say Ken Griffey? You know I love Ken Griffey.
That's what I'm saying. I said your guy.
Oh, I grew up loving Ken Griffey Jr., man.
Now, I mean, how could you not? I mean, there's few things in sports that was just more pure beauty than watching the swing of one Ken Griffey Jr.
I'm going to go get me a Seattle Mariners hat today just because y'all mentioned his name.
You may be the only one.
Probably so. But what I'm really surprised by, New York Mets first base rookie Pete Alonso. How the hell did he get snubbed?
I don't know.
I mean, that's amazing to me. Yeah, I mean, he's batting .227, right? But, I mean, and batting .300 is not near as important as what it used to be back in the day. He's slugging .662.
Yeah.
He's already got 27 homers. This is a rookie now. He's projected right now to have 53 at the end of the season. How does that not make the All-Star break? That's incredible. I mean, granted, there's some hella tough competition.
I can give you my thoughts.
I'll give you the floor here in just a second on that, Will. But then, how do you not mention the MLB All-Stars without talking about somebody that you feel like is a future All-Star? Look at the College World Series that just took place with Michigan and Vanderbilt. Dude, that pitcher for Vanderbilt,
He's the
Kamal
truth.
Rocker.
He is the truth.
He is the man. This is the same guy that struck out 19 batters in one game.
Whoa.
No MLB pitcher in history has struck out more than 17 in a single game.
Woo.
He had 11 strikeouts.
20 is the record.
20 is the record, but still.
That's in college, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, yeah. And then Game 2 of the World Series, I mean, pressure-packed. Pressure's on.
It doesn't get higher than that.
No. The man struck out 11 in 6 1/3.
Jesus.
Just totally just dominated an otherwise relatively solid Michigan lineup. I mean, the dude, he's a freshman, but the man, he's poised. He's a man among boys. I mean, 18 years old. This guy is 6'4", 225.
He's a big boy.
He's a monster.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Can I say, man, that
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, anyone knows me knows that I'm not the hugest of baseball fan, man.
I'd never guessed that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not my thing, okay?
Right.
Even when a guy who's not really into a sport hear numbers like this, man, I can't help but cringe. Like, dude, where are these cats coming from, man? Like, they are becoming, it's almost like, I don't know, man. It's almost like there's steroids in their vein when they born, man. Like,
it's incredible. It really is incredible.
Come on, God, man. This is nuts, man. We got Titans, man, and superheroes playing these sports now, bro. Come on, God, look, I see Trey Hand right over there, man. That wheel turning, boy. I see it.
All right, so the original question about Peter Alonso. Peter Alonso has been just destroying the ball. He's been knocking the ball out of the park. And he plays for a huge market. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than New York. Obviously, he's with the second New York team, not the Yankees.
Right.
But it's still New York. And, the Mets, they have been probably the most dysfunctional team in baseball over the past month. Their manager threatened to fight a reporter.
I like
So you really feel like more of this is about the timing than anything else?
I think it's basically the organization he plays for. Because we all know that people talk more about winners than they do losers. I mean, he can hit 28 home runs, but like you said, he's hitting 220. And I feel like in today's game, I mean, think about Chris Davis that plays for the Baltimore Orioles.
Sure.
Okay? He signed a $100-and-something million contract. 8-year, I think it was like $165, $170 million contract. After he hit 57 home runs in a year. Now, his batting average was 240, 250. But if you're hitting that many home runs, I'll sign him. Wouldn't you?
Right. Yeah,
why not?
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, why not?
Because you're generating runs.
Fast forward 3 years. The Baltimore Orioles are the bottom feeders of the MLB. Okay? Chris Davis is hitting a whopping 153 batting average.
Oh.
Okay? And there has been nobody who's willing to take on his contract so the Orioles can get out from under that terrible, terrible, terrible signing. Okay? Mm-hmm. So there's been a cautionary tale that you don't want guys who all they do is hit the ball over the fence because, and it goes back
to the game than that.
Exactly, because if pitchers figure him out, then it's either he's going to hit the ball over the fence or he's going to strike out. Mm-hmm. And Peter Alonso is one of those guys, as seen by his 220 batting average. Okay. Now, Christian Yelich, on the other hand, is batting 330 with how many home runs?
29.
29.
Yes.
He won the NL MVP last year, and a lot of people said that it was a fluke, that he would never be able to repeat it. Well, he got pissed off, and now he's hitting like a man possessed by Babe Ruth himself. Okay?
The great
Christian,
Bambino.
and you got to think how mad the Marlins have to be because Yelich was nowhere near the player he is with the Brewers right now when he was with the Marlins. I mean, if you go look at what the Brewers gave up.
Worked out well for you.
Oh, absolutely. I hated Yelich.
Because, I mean, you being a Braves fan and everything.
Absolutely.
I
I am a Braves fan. I'm probably a bigger baseball fan than I am football fan. And I say that I do not say that lightly.
I do know that.
I do not say that lightly. Most of my wardrobe is Braves stuff.
He's actually wearing a Braves jersey right now.
Yes, all my hats are Braves hats.
That's Brave.
I mean, it's just it's
Well played.
My one true love is the Atlanta Braves. I will never waver from that.
Oh.
But watching the outfield of Giancarlo Stanton, Marcell Ozuna, and Christian Yelich gave me legitimate anxiety because
And
those
now they're
guys,
basically all going their separate ways.
they're all gone. Ozuna is in St. Louis.
Stanton in New
Yelich,
York.
Stanton is in New York.
Yeah.
He's hitting in a park that's way smaller than it should be, and still can't stay healthy. And then Yelich is basically he's gonna win MVP again unless something dramatic happens.
Okay.
And with these All-Star nods, you have to think baseball. The baseball lets the people elect the All-Stars.
And not journalists and writers and
Right.
things like that.
I
Yeah.
respect that big time.
So, and like I voted every day. You could vote 5 times a day for about 3 weeks.
Wow.
I voted every day. And you could see the contingent of fans that come out because 7 Braves made the All-Star team, 7 Cubs made the All-Star teams. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, TBS played all the Braves games.
I remember that.
WGN played all the Cubs games.
Yeah, TBS played all the Braves games.
Uh-huh.
WGN would play all the Bills games.
All the Bulls and Cubs.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you have all these fans in a national spotlight because before MLB TV, the Braves played everywhere. Hey, you could watch them anywhere you were.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs, you could watch them anywhere you were. So that's why you have these 2 clubs that the Cubs they're a big market, but the Braves are considered small market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you got guys like Freddie Freeman, who's been good for a long time, but the Braves have not been good.
Yeah.
So
Freddie Freeman is kind of the quote unquote old man of the group. I mean,
he's only 29.
He's still the old man of the group.
Right, he's
though,
been
because,
around forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Been around forever. He went through the rebuild, and whenever teams are rebuilding or they're not that good, their best players do not get talked about. That's
No.
just the
That
that's
is
just
jump
the
ship.
way it is. You'll hear more about the Red Sox Mookie Betts or Aaron Judge with the Yankees or Chris Bryant with the Cubs. More than you'll hear about Manny Machado when he played for the Orioles, or more than you'll hear about Ketel Marte. I mean, he got his due, but Ketel Marte plays for the Diamondbacks, and they're kind of one of those. They're floating around 500.
Okay.
And then you got people like Mitch Haniger who play for the Mariners, which he's on the DL IL right now. So, but he's one of those players that's a building block player. None of y'all have heard of him. The only reason I know about him is because he's on my fantasy team. Okay, but Peter Alonso is getting that treatment. The Mets are not good. The Mets are in 4th place in that division, behind the Phillies, the Nationals, and the Braves. Okay, wow. And the way that their stock is trending down. Okay, they made the mistake of saying we're going to win now, we're going to spend a lot of money, and we're going to go for it. And then the results have not been there.
Sound like the Lakers.
Their manager tried to fight a reporter for saying that they suck. Then one of their starting pitchers, Jason Vargas, actually charged said reporter and had to be restrained by teammates. Then when Mickey Callaway, their manager, issued his apology, I am not making this up, I wish I was. He issued his apology. Then the bosses, the GM and the owners of the Mets, called him and said, "You never said you were sorry. You did not apologize. You need to do another press conference and actually say the words, 'I'm sorry.'" So less than 15 minutes later, dude called all the journalists back and said, "Look, I forgot to say I'm sorry." After he said something like, "I got some feedback on my apology and it wasn't good enough." This is a professional.
I apologize for my lack of apology.
Yes, this is a professional baseball manager. There are only 30 professional baseball managers in the world.
I got. You know what? This lets me know right off the bat. We're gonna get our asses whooped at some point because once all the players that we hate, that we talked about, hear this stuff, man, they're gonna come after us too, man.
They can, man. I speak nothing but the truth. You don't want me to talk shit? Do better. Do better. At least act like a professional. You act like a professional, I'll give you respect. You act like Kyrie Irving, I'm gonna hate you.
Tell it, Trey Hand. Preach it to the mountain, brother.
But the reason that Peter Alonso got snubbed is because 2 of the other first basemen in the NL, Freddie Freeman and Josh Bell, are having career years. They are having just outrageous.
That definitely explains it. But I was just thinking about it from the standpoint of, dude, this is a rookie. He's coming out there and he's
You're right. And
he's tearing the cover off the
and
ball.
I would say
the batting average may not necessarily be there,
right?
But a lot of it nowadays
he's basically
is
the best thing the Mets have going for him.
Correct,
by
exactly.
a lot.
Yeah,
I mean that's
not close.
He's hope, and that's an organization that has very little hope. Another snub that I saw, and I've got a little homer right here. I think Ozzie Albies should have got in before Ketel Marte. And that's just me. Because what Ozzie Albies has done defensively for that team cannot be, overstated. That infield is one heck of an infield. I showed him a highlight of Josh Donaldson barehanding to Freddie Freeman for, a bang-bang play.
Right.
You don't hear, when you hear Josh Donaldson, you think home runs, you think offense. Well, now their defense is they're one of the best defensive teams in the MLB. And they just so happen to be knocking the cover off the ball. I mean, you got the rookie Austin Riley, you got, Ronald Acuna, All-Star starter. You got Freddie Freeman, All-Star starter. I mean, Ketel Marte is good, but he's playing for a 500 team. He's good,
but without his production,
they would probably be worse. You're right.
That's ultimately
and
what I'm getting
that's
at.
the line that you have.
Some of that is not necessarily the fact. I mean, to me, being an all-star is not so much about what it is that you're doing; it's what you're helping your team accomplish.
Exactly.
Because with the absence of Marte, you're looking at the Diamondbacks as being kind of the Baltimore Orioles of the NL.
Well, they're not that bad.
Well, not to that extent.
I think
they'd be pretty damn bad without Martell's contribution, though.
Yeah, I think
that's ultimately the point I'm getting at.
Two teams that are the worst in baseball. That's the Marlins and the Orioles, and it ain't even close for a second. But the Diamondbacks are kind of caught in this middle ground where they traded away Paul Goldschmidt, who was their guy.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that move. Right there.
I mean, and I think he told them, "Hey, I'm going to walk after this year," because he was in a contract year, so they tried to get something back.
Right.
But then they got the highest paid pitcher in baseball, Zach Greinke, who's like 35. They got a really good closer in Greg Holland. But then they got these. They're kind of caught in the middle. They don't know if they want to rebuild. They don't know if they want to contend. So they're kind of treading, right there in the middle. And that's
which is not where you want to live.
Yeah, that's exactly that's the most dangerous place. That's one of the most dangerous places to be because
you don't ever want to be a middle tier team.
You're not good enough to win, but you're not bad enough to get good assets when you lose. It's one of those.
Exactly.
Because that's when the Braves did the rebuild, I was all for it because they traded freaking everybody besides Freddie Freeman. Hayward gone, Kimbrel gone, all of them gone, and then the rebuild worked. I mean, look at all their young players.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't let that happen with the Raiders. I hope they rebuild don't work. I'm praying that they rebuild don't work. I know that's not baseball related, but then we talking about football. I can't help my mind always think about football, and when I see patterns happen in certain sports that it happens in every sport, and here we are. I'm thinking about the Raiders are rebuilding. Chucky is a retard, but then again, what if Chucky what he's doing works? That means for us. That means we're gonna suck.
Hey, but at least you get to watch them on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to watch. I think.
Oh man, it's gonna be
I think it's gonna be get your popcorn ready.
Oh God,
it's gonna be such good TV. It's gonna be such good TV.
I gotta throw this out there because one of our former guests and somebody that is a pretty big follower for the show. He brought it up. I'm referring to Big D, Derek Forney. What is it that we think about the MLB and what they need to do to protect the fans now that the 2-year-old has suffered the injury from that foul ball?
Put the nets up. I mean, this is the easiest.
Netting.
Put the damn nets up.
Put the nets
Get the nets.
You make millions and millions and millions of dollars. I could put up nets for $200, and it would be safer than nothing.
Are you volunteering yourself?
Hey, Atlanta Braves, you want to fly me out there, put me up in a hotel, let me watch a couple games? I can do it for free, hell.
No kidding. That'd be your compensation right there.
Just let me watch a couple games. Let me go to the chop house and get a little drunk. Hey, I'm good.
Happy does it.
I mean, you got the break coming up. The All-Star break is coming up. You got time. It does not take that much. And everybody wants to say, well, it's gonna ruin fans' view of the game. Well, we're the most expensive seats in the stadium,
Real
right
talk.
behind home plate, and there's been
Exactly.
nets up there forever.
Yeah.
So it ain't gonna hurt your bottom line. Put the damn nets up. It's simple. A person died last year from a foul ball. Got hit and died.
Yeah.
Another man died because he fell over the railing going for a foul ball.
Well,
I don't understand why it's so hard.
That was the Darwin effect for him.
But why is it so?
yeah.
Well, he was a firefighter, and he was trying to catch it for his son. It was sad. I cried. But
I'm sorry, dude.
yeah, I mean, but these things, it's crazy how it seems like it's a no-brainer, right?
You would think.
It seems like a no-brainer.
have
And then
to-
you got these teams like I think it was the Nationals. There's a couple of teams that are doing it, but not all teams are doing it.
It should be a mandatory practice, is what it
The,
should
the
be.
White Sox are doing it. The lady got hit at a Cubs game, and it's the White Sox who are putting the nets up, and they play in different fields. It's-
Well, why do we have police? To protect us from ourselves. The net will protect us from ourselves.
The nets are not going to ruin the game.
It's gonna
It's
protect
going to
us from
help
ourselves.
people. It's going to stop people from getting drilled by 100-mile-an-hour freaking baseball. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't,
Exactly.
I don't understand. I mean, baseball is slow to react to pretty much anything, but this is just bad PR.
Yeah.
right?
This is a quick fix, man.
It's just bad
This
PR.
is nothing that's gonna hurt them, man.
It's
need
not
this
like
quick
they have
fix
to
for it.
change the field or the stadiums. They just put nets up.
Yeah,
they already
there's
have nets up.
yeah,
Just
there's
extend the same
There's nothing
nets.
to do that can
Yeah.
that can possibly hurt any. And it doesn't hurt the integrity of the
No,
game.
it doesn't. And as somebody
it
who-
improves. I mean, so much nowadays is made about player safety. What about safety of the fans, the
Fan
spectators?
safety, yes.
That's what it ultimately needs to come down to, because the fans are the ones who ultimately are the ones who are paying the price of admission. They're paying the players' salaries and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
If you want to continue to have your game and like you said, remove some of this bad PR from it, put the damn nets up.
Hey, I hope
Solve a lot of issues,
Oh.
and it's extremely cost effective to do.
it does not cost hardly anything,
That's what I'm-
especially in the
how
grand
much more
scheme.
cost effective can you get then?
I really hope that one of these fans that gets hit sues the pants off of one of these franchises.
Way to censor yourself, because I don't have a button that can do that.
I just hope that they sue them, and then it comes out in this off season that every team has to do it because it's stupid.
It's long past overdue.
Well, you know
It
what?
needs to be
That's
done.
great, man. So, what do we do to protect fans from players? Because being that we do a podcast where we talk about players all the time, we need protection.
That's a really good point.
I just thought I'd throw that out there since we're talking about being protected, because we all gonna need security after we get through with these.
You know what?
podcasts.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely correct.
They can try.
Hey, is it football yet?
Almost.
We're almost there.
OTAs are a month away.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah.
OTAs, training camp.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
We've been going at this thing now, and we've been talking about the All-Star break and everything, and we're about to take a little break for ourselves. So stay tuned after this lovely tune, and we will be right back. This is Sports at Night, Real Fans, Real Talk.
Have any just crazy.
So, welcome back to Sports at Night, Real Fans, Real Talk. And I just wanted to mention really quick, this portion of our broadcast today is brought to you by Paul McMurray State Farm.
Paul!
Where the only thing better than the policies themselves is the service you'll be provided with. Just be sure to dial 318-741-7504, and a representative will be more than happy to help you with all of your insurance-related needs, whether that be home, auto, life, you name it, they will cover you because they're great like that. Again, that number is 318-741-7504.
I think we need to call Paul.
Yeah.
Take out
Better
some life
call
insurance.
Paul, exactly.
Kyrie
Yes,
Irving's
indeed.
people are going to get him.
And if you go to a baseball game, make sure you call Paul first.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So, this part, we're finally diving back into the NFL. This is our bread and butter. This is what we're all about, right?
Yes,
I mean, we've been itching for this.
Ah.
And I thought it was kind of just an interesting topic because it's something a little bit outside the box. We all know about the meteoric rise of Patrick Mahomes.
Hall of
I know that
Famer
you're
Patrick
not.
Mahomes.
Yeah, I know that Javon's not a fan of it. I mean, he's in his division, yada yada yada. I get that, but there is no disputing, there is no arguing the, like I said, the meteoric rise that he had.
MVP?
Yeah, I mean, how do you going from riding the pine to throwing 50 touchdowns after one season?
Yeah, one calendar year.
That's incredible.
One calendar year.
I mean, so, Javon, I know that you have a lot to say on this. I know your thoughts are running rampant right now. So, what do you got, Superman? I know we've already kind of let your kryptonite out of the bag here, so let's what you got.
You guys already threw it out there. First and foremost, he came off the pine to a team that Alex Smith was already doing good with already anyway. And he got, you know how they say it's not about the gun, it's about the bullets? He had some hellified bullets when he finally got off the pine.
I agree. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
I mean, come on, man. You're talking about he had a MVP caliber running back. You got to think. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, it was 3 MVPs on that exact same team that could be you can put in the MVP category or at least in the conversation. He had an MVP caliber running back. He had an MVP caliber wide receiver. Let's go ahead and throw in the tight end, man. Kelsey,
yeah, why not?
Kelsey's a beast.
Yeah.
And I mean, so it's not like he was just trying to make something out of nothing.
And one of the greatest offensive coaches of all time, Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. It's not like this kid just came into a poop storm. He
had the golden opportunity, but I mean, guys like Kyrie Irving, they've had the golden opportunity before, and they completely squandered it. Patrick Mahomes took full advantage of it, and he ran with it.
Yeah, well, you know who I compare him to? I'll compare him to Tom Brady. I will compare Patrick Mahomes to Tom Brady on this caliber right here.
Yes, please.
When
explain.
Tom Brady finally came up off the pine himself, he came into
after Drew Bledsoe. Ironically, another 11 quarterback.
He came off the pine into a very lucrative situation. It wasn't like Tom came off the pine into a struggling Indianapolis Colts team. Tom didn't come into a struggling Indianapolis Colts team. He came into a Patriots team that was on the rise anyway. With a coach that got brilliance beyond what we can even think of. And all he had to do was just get in there, do your job, and I'll win you championships. Well, same thing with Patrick Mahomes. I got you already set up, baby. We got you a squad. All you got to do is just come in and do your job. Use your little athletic ability that you got, all that little sidewind throw and all that stuff that you do. Just do all that out there, and these dudes going to catch everything that you put in the air. And that's exactly what happened. They caught every single thing he put in the air, be it long, be it short, be it whatever. So I don't feel like that the tight end and the wide receivers or the running back get enough credit. He gets all the credit.
Kansas City was literally a D Ford offside penalty away from being in the Super Bowl last year.
Tom Brady would beat him.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Tom Brady did beat him.
Let's go to. Speaking of which, let's go to Peyton Manning, right? When he said his. No, give me a second. I'm linking all this shit, right? When he set this 55 touchdowns, right?
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes threw 50.
Sure.
Peyton threw 55, right?
Right.
50.
Okay. Peyton Manning was throwing.
Tom threw 50.
He did throw 50. That's true. I hate to admit that, but he did. Okay. Even we can go to Tom. How many superstars did Tom throw that 50 touchdowns to? Two.
He had Gronk.
And
he had Randy Moss.
Boom. Peyton Manning.
Welker was no slouch either.
Hey, but he wasn't a superstar.
True.
Peyton Manning.
Welker was not a superstar.
Peyton Manning threw his 50 to a Julius Thomas, who everybody thought was a bust, that was coming off a bad injury. He been throwing touchdown to no Sean Moreno, who everybody thought was poop.
Yep.
Wes Welker, who the Patriots just got rid of, who was like
6 concussions.
had 6 concussions.
Yep.
Okay, to a Demaryius Thomas, which not superstar, but star. Yep. Made him into a superstar,
right.
But he was just a star up until that point. Mm-hmm. And let's see who else. Let's
the only one left.
And Eric Decker, who went to Miami and did absolutely nothing.
The Jets, actually.
The Jets.
Yeah.
He went to the Jets and did.
Huh?
Wasn't Sanders on that team too?
No, Sanders was not on that team at the time.
My mistake.
So, can you compare his bullets to the bullets that Patrick Mahomes had when he threw his 50? I absolutely say no. I say no.
I do agree with that.
Patrick Mahomes came into a very good situation. And here's the bigger question.
For sure.
Okay, so we all say who's going to be the next Patrick Mahomes. Of course, we all looking to that boy that just went over to Arizona, right? Mm-hmm. We thinking, oh, man, he's going to come in. His athletic ability will make him just as good as Patrick Mahomes. I doubt it.
But he doesn't have nearly the team Pat Mahomes does.
Exactly. So the question is Pat Mahomes going to be Pat Mahomes again? That's what the question. That's the question I think we all should be asking.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's the question
that really
we
is, because I didn't even consider that.
He may be
the expectation at this point is so elevated because nobody knew what to expect last year. Now everybody's just like,
that
if he doesn't go out there and throw 40 plus TDs and 5,000 yards, it's like he has a down year.
Yeah, exactly.
So Javon, that is an excellent point.
Absolutely.
Because that running back, we all know he's going to be running for the Browns next year.
Yeah.
We don't even know if Tyreek Hill coming back. He snatched his son's arm and messed his son's arm up. We don't even know if he coming back.
Yep. So he's going to have Travis Kelce?
He may have just Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Let's see how pretty them passes be now.
Yep.
Let's see if they're gonna be if the new receivers they put around him snatch him out the air like what was going on now.
And they lost their Pro Bowl center.
Oh yeah. Now he won't even be protected like he was because he had some good protection.
Yeah, because the center is the quarterback of the offensive line.
Oh man, absolutely.
Mitch Morse is gone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's just see. I want to see is Patrick Mahomes gonna be Patrick Mahomes again? I'd be damned if I see 50 touchdowns. I won't see that.
That's highly doubtful.
That's highly doubtful.
If Patrick Mahomes can actually duplicate or even semi-replicate what he did
even if
last
he gets
year,
to 40,
then at that point you just have to say, okay, this guy is absolutely the real deal.
Well, why do we like Russell Wilson so much? Because Russell Wilson is steady. You don't have to give Russell Wilson nothing, and he gonna make something out of it.
Russell Wilson has done more with less,
exactly,
than any quarterback I can think of right now.
Last year was supposed to be a rebuilding year, and they made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs, man,
and rightfully so. Now he's the richest man in the NFL.
Yeah. I'd say Russell Wilson is definitely going to the Hall of Fame. That's a quarterback. He's going.
I don't know if he's going to be first ballot, but he absolutely will be a Hall of Fame.
He's also taking the award for lamest quarterback in the NFL.
He is lame. He is lame, dude.
That video when he got paid in bed with the chain.
Oh gosh.
I cringed.
He's lame, man.
He's lame.
He's a dork.
He's lamer than Luck. He is lamer than Andrew Luck. At least Luck embraces and doesn't try to be cool.
He cannot be lamer than a guy who looked like he's Amish, like Luck does. Luck looked like Abraham Lincoln.
But Luck leans into it. Russell tries to be cool.
You know what? That I do agree. Andrew Luck embraces that he's a lame white guy.
There is something cool about knowing that you're not cool.
It is true. That's very...
It's called being authentic.
Exactly.
Yes.
Russell Wilson married a superstar.
He did.
It looks like he's trying to be the cool guy, but he just can't. Honestly, and I say this because I watched Men in Black, he looks like an alien pretending to be a human.
That is absolutely the line of the day.
It looks like he knows what to do, but can't quite do it convincingly.
You know who he remind me of? He remind me of that dork that was in school that always wanted to be cool. And finally he got a chance that, man, maybe, just maybe I get me some cool points. and then he dropped the cool points that he have a chance of getting.
Pretty badly.
Yeah, I played football with a guy in high school, hell of an athlete, but every time he opened his mouth, everybody was just like, "What?" That's Russell Wilson.
Guys like that.
You know who else like that? That dude that played, that boy from the Buccaneers. What's his name?
Gerald McCoy?
No, the quarterback.
Jameis Winston?
Winston.
Yeah,
Winston
kind of
is
an idiot, though.
Winston is another moranathon who thinks he's cool but drops the ball every single time.
You know what? Will, you had the line of the day. Javon just dropped the word of the day. Moranathon.
He's a moranathon, bro. He is stupid. Did you see that speech when he was all that tomorrow? Yeah, we're going to eat him. We're going to eat him. It was the most... All the players,
Yes.
Go look at it on YouTube. Everybody was standing there looking at him like,
What? I don't know. Whenever
I
he
understand you're trying to be passionate and everything, but I mean,
whenever he
seriously.
pushed Marcus Lattimore, not Marcus. Who's the one that plays for the Saints? The cornerback. Lattimore for the Saints.
Yeah,
it's Marcus. It's not Marcus, is it? Marshawn.
Yeah.
When he pushed Marshawn Lattimore and started that melee between Mike Evans and all the Saints players, you could tell that he just like all of them were like, "Why are you talking? Now we got to fight, and we don't really want to fight." You didn't even look cool. You put your fingers in the back of his head, dude.
Exactly,
Like,
man. Like you look so stupid. He drops the ball every time.
At least Russell Wilson's good at football, though. Jameis is just terrible all around.
Jameis is going to be known for. He's going to be infamous.
He's going to be known for stealing crab legs.
He's going to be
forever.
where Russell Wilson is going to be famous. He's going to be famous for the rest of his entire career and even beyond that. Winston is going to be infamous. Whenever we think about him, we're going to think about someone that's stupid. Like, we're not going to never necessarily have very good memories about Winston.
The highlight for me, at least, where Jameis Winston was concerned is, and it is positively speaking, begins and ends with his freshman year at Florida State.
No.
That's it.
Massively good talent
everything.
at
I
that
mean,
time.
for you to peak as a freshman in college really speaks to the lack of maturity that you really have,
And
the lack
also-
of commitment that you have to the game.
Very much so.
People forget he also pitched in the not College World Series, but the playoffs. It was the College World Series. It wasn't the finals though for Florida State's baseball team. He pitched
I mean,
That's also true.
He's an athlete, but once again, let's get back on the Patrick Mahomes topic. Not to take anything away from Patrick Mahomes, but he's an athlete as well. But yet he knows how to use his athleticism and his talent, and he's
not an idiot.
And with Andy Reid being that mentor, he's not allowing Patrick Mahomes to do anything that could hurt his credibility.
That's true.
He's keeping him focused. Like, look,
He
young man,
does-
you have a future, but let's keep it focused.
He does surround him with questionable people, though. Kareem Hunt, cut for kicking a woman. Tyreek Hill may get cut for, whooping up on his old lady and his child.
Well, one thing I'm going to say real quick about Patrick Mahomes, and then I'm just going to leave that little part alone, is my mom even likes Patrick Mahomes.
I don't.
I get why he's in your division.
It's
You're
not
supposed to like him.
even that. I don't really like him as a person because I don't like his. He's a little too cocky for my taste.
I just can't listen to him talk.
I can't listen to him talk. I hate the way he
Sounds like
talks.
Kermit.
I am strictly referring to playability.
Well,
That's
yeah,
all I'm referring to
okay.
in this specific case. I'm
He's
not
fun
talking
to
about
watch.
his personality. I'm not referring to
He's fun to
you know,
watch.
how just
You know who else was fun to watch,
lame
though?
he is in interviews and stuff.
You know who else was fun to watch?
Michael Vick.
Who?
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick was fun to watch.
Michael Vick was fun to watch.
And Michael
You're right
Vick
about
hit that cliff and went
went
Oh,
straight
God.
down.
quick. Both
And-
times.
Anyway,
Hit the cliff. Well, it wasn't cliff. It was a jail cell.
Yep.
But he hit the jail cell with the Falcons, made his comeback, and hit the cliff with the Eagles.
Michael Vick was at that time one of the most exciting quarterbacks to watch in the game.
Oh,
he was something new, just like Mahomes is right now. He was something we never seen, and we thought that this guy was gonna take the Atlanta Falcons to a championship. We really, everybody believed that. And then everybody thought, even when he came out of jail, his resurgence, they thought that he was going to bring Philly back. He was so good when he went into jail that everybody thought when he got out of jail, his talent was still going to be there. So then we look at the Patrick Mahomes, like, all right, man, I think he's a cocky little twerp. But, you know what I mean?
He's done it for a year. Let's see some more consistency.
Because he's not as humble as Russell Wilson.
very similar to what Javon was saying.
Right.
You know,
The reason
can
why
Mahomes be Mahomes again?
the reason why I like Russell Wilson, and this is, don't ever tell Russell Wilson this. Oh man, I hope you're not listening to this podcast. Dang it!
I hope he is, because I want this to be shared.
Because
Please,
I
guys,
have
like, share, and comment. We
please.
need that. We need the love. We need the support, guys.
Man. And everybody know how I feel about the Seahawks. They blew us out in the Super Bowl, so I have a hurt and a hate for this team. But I have a respect for one Russell Wilson because he has been a humble quarterback and he has stayed humble throughout his whole entire career.
Right.
I do not see that in Patrick Mahomes. He's a cocky little twerp, man. And it comes out when he does little interviews or when he gets little touchdowns. He got to do his little muscle thing. He go over there talking smack. He's a cocky little twerp, man. And I don't know how far, when people see a cocky little twerp, they want to put him down. I know I was like that in school. You see a cat that just kept running his mouth all the time, you want to punch him in it. And that's
a little bit.
Yeah, you do. You want to hit him in it. Like, even if you don't really know the cat and you just hear him over there yapping with his buddies, you be like, man, I want to go slap this dude.
Yeah.
You really do. And that's how I feel about Mahomes. He's one of those dudes I just want to get up and go slap, man. Because he done did it. He thinks he's unstoppable. He thinks that he's great. And to add, I saw this little thing where Peyton Manning broke down Patrick Mahomes and broke down what he did last season.
Uh-huh.
He was doing a play-by-play showing of what Patrick Mahomes was doing. He actually said that Patrick is a very smart quarterback. He was saying that sometimes even when Patrick didn't see the big play, he would go for his checkdowns. Which
is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, or he was smart enough to throw the ball away, or he was smart enough to make the scramble when it was time. So Peyton gave him praise, and I give him praise too, man. He did play a very good season last year.
Are you simply giving him praise because Peyton did?
Not because Peyton did, but some of the things he did do was cool. But I still say that he was able to do a lot of those things because he had some amazing talent around him.
That's a fact.
Every single person that was on his squad, that was on that offense, was very, very, very good. And Andy Reid knew how to make them components work, man. And Andy would put plays that we never even seen before. Like, this old man still was coming up with new stuff. Like, all right, I'm going to do this since I got this young quarterback, since I got this very talented tight end, since I got this amazing running back and this super fast wide receiver, I'm going to do things that people has never seen before. So, big ups to Andy Reid also because he had a lot to do with that 50 touchdowns. So, that's all I'm saying, that the components that this man had was outstanding. He won't have that next year. I don't see 50 touchdowns coming next year. Not at all.
Fair enough. Will, who do you think it's going to be? Who do you feel like makes that next big jump?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
I like that. I like the pick.
I like that choice. Validate.
I think another year removed from that ACL tear.
Yes.
I think last year, the Texans started out slow and then he
picked it up.
Yeah, he put him on a run.
He sure did.
And the only thing I hesitate, that offensive line is still bad.
Still weak. It is.
And
they made some improvements to it, but still
the guys that they drafted are all projects.
He's still running for his life too, man. Absolutely. I noticed that.
And but I really think that DeAndre Hopkins is one heck of a receiver.
No drop, and it doesn't get near the credit that he deserves.
Exactly. He's top 3.
This man caught a ball between his legs, man. How did he do that?
He top literally 3. Drops nothing.
I can tell you, I would rather have Hopkins on my team than Beckham.
Me too. Hey, I'm
honestly
you're getting the talent without the headache. That's exactly what you're getting.
And Hopkins is kind of a weird dude. You saw that on when they did Hard Knocks. He carries a purse with a dog in it.
But wide receivers are generally different kind of cats.
He has played for the Houston Texans his whole career, and you have never heard anything out of him. Going from Andre Johnson to DeAndre Hopkins, that's one heck of a lineage. And the Texans aren't old.
I never thought of DeAndre Hopkins as the number 1 receiver until last year.
Last year he did it.
Last year he did it for me.
He did it for me, man.
He's the man. I think Watson's one of those players that he's only going to get better. As long as his health holds up, he is going to be.
That is a very big.
He's not going to be like Eli Manning, where he just. It seems like he keeps making the same mistakes. He's not going to be like Ben Roethlisberger, where it seems like he just tries to force it. He's not going to be like. I honestly don't think
Deshaun is smart.
I think he's one of those players that it's very rare you see him make the same mistake twice.
He's a very smart kid, man.
And I mean, even when he came into the league, that quarterback draft was very underrated.
Yeah, man. You know,
Because I mean, you had Trubisky went 2, Trubisky went 2, then Mahomes went 10, and Watson went 15.
Man, just think.
And Mahomes won MVP. Trubisky made the playoffs last year, and Deshaun is one of the biggest question mark wild cards out there, health provided. But if he ever gets away from Bill O'Brien and they actually hire a coach that can actually coach, I really think the Texans are a perennial playoff team in a very tough division.
They are.
Very tough division.
And let's not to forget that Mahomes actually won Offensive Player of the Year and he won MVP.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah, that's screwed up. That's messed up, but he did. He won both of them.
I think that was kind of a little bit of excessive.
It was excessive. It was very excessive.
But do you have anything else to add on this?
I think
I like
it's going to be a fun year in the NFL. I think just like in the NBA, it's kind of wide open.
Yeah.
Like you can pencil the Patriots in for a playoff spot.
The Browns.
I ain't penciling in anything. That dude's got a rookie head coach. I mean, anything could happen.
Yeah. Well, the Browns they're stacked. They are stacked.
They are stacked
for greatness.
But look at how many egos they have on that team.
They have a lot.
They have video woman beater at running back.
Yeah.
They have Baker Mayfield, who I'm an Oklahoma Sooners fan through and through, and I love Baker. But dude's a hothead.
He's a hothead.
You got Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, two of the biggest personalities in the room. You got David Njoku, who's coming into his own and wants to eat.
How about Nick Chubb?
You got I'm just talking about offense right now.
Yeah.
You got Duke Johnson.
I am too. Nick Chubb.
Duke Johnson.
The running back.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the guys who are not. They have big egos. Nick Chubb's kind of a quiet guy as compared to the other guys.
Very quiet.
As compared to the other guys.
Which
And that is causing problems with Duke Johnson, who's asked for a trade.
Yeah.
And then Baker called him out. And he's still on the roster.
I don't get it. I think Baker's going to be Baker. He's going to sit there. He's going to run off at the mouth. He's going to sit there and say whatever is the first thing that comes to his mind. He is the anti-Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he is.
Russell Wilson is going to be very PC. He's going to kind of keep everything very cordial, very professional. And Baker is going to.
It's kind of refreshing to see that, though.
It kind of sort of is.
And in some ways, Baker is almost. Give him a couple of years, he could be at the same skill level as Russ.
I'm going to say something right now, and I don't want any flack for what I'm about to say because the parallels are very similar.
Okay.
Think about politics before the 2016 election. All politicians pretty much sounded and looked the same. Mm-hmm. Then you had Donald Trump.
And he came and won.
Shook up everything and won for being
something
different.
Just being different.
Baker Mayfield.
It was a refreshing kind of thing. And I do understand it
Baker
from that
Mayfield
standpoint.
Says what he means and means what he says.
It's exactly what that team needed.
Right.
Frankly.
Yeah, they did because you got to think they were going nowhere. Mm-hmm. They were going nowhere fast.
They won one game in 32 games.
Come on, man. They were going nowhere fast.
There's nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse than that.
And let's go ahead and end it on this. Remember how many podcasts...
I haven't given mine yet, guys.
Of course. Well, then I'm going to say on the podcast, remember how we all was rooting for Cleveland? Actually, we all got something that we can root for now. I mean, we all said we wanted them to win something.
Not me.
Yeah. Me and Todd.
I like Baker.
Okay.
But they also took Odell Beckham.
But what hit it, Todd? Talk to me.
My guys, I was kind of flip-flopping because I think you really can flip a coin between these two guys. Baker Mayfield, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go with Josh Allen. I'm going with Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills. I'm going to throw him in there. I think I'm not saying that he is the next Patrick Mahomes. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
Right.
But when I'm looking at the Bills, I'm going to pay the Bills respect on this.
About time somebody did.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a hell of a head coach.
Yeah, and here's where I'm going. All right, in his first year, I mean, he showed everybody in the world that he could hurt you with his legs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we all know, I mean, we already knew about the arm strength and everything. He has a Mahomes-like cannon attached to his body.
Yes.
And he's had an off season to kind of correct some of those throwing mechanics that we all could see was just like very, very, very flawed. I mean, that's one of the reasons why even a tremendous talent coming out of Wyoming that you didn't really know where to project him in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a wild card.
Now he's getting an opportunity at that. Bills, they're no joke. They've got a good defense, even with the retirement of a local boy, Kyle Williams.
Our boy.
You know, Monroe, Louisiana,
Rustin
LSU.
High, Rustin
yeah,
hung in there long time.
Yeah, exactly. But and then to kind of piggyback off of what you said, Josh Allen has Mahomes' arm-like strength, but he doesn't have the electric weapons that Mahomes has.
He was throwing to garbage last year.
Josh Allen.
Garbage, man.
Here's what I'm projecting for him.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw this out here. I think he's going to run for 1,000 yards. I think he's going to throw for 4,000.
Woo.
That's MVP.
I think he's going to rush.
Yeah, different to see.
I think he's going to rush for 10 touchdowns. I think he's going to throw for 30 touchdowns.
So we Cam Newton in this here. Cam Newton.
That's what I'm thinking. I think he's more similar to Cam Newton than any other quarterback.
Because Cam can do that.
That's a bold.
I'm going bold on this. I'm going bold on it.
After Siakam, I'm not doubting you.
Thank you. Just let me get that out now.
All right, Dion.
He's got John Brown, who can stretch the field like nobody's business. Cole Beasley is one of the best slot receivers in the NFL.
Yeah,
Look what he's done for Dak in Dallas, right?
You gotta tell me.
LaShawn McCoy, he's coming back. I know he's not the same guy that he used to be, but he's still a very formidable back coming out of the backfield.
I'll take him.
And I really, really, really like this rookie running back that they drafted, Devin Singletary. Mm-hmm. He's a sleeper. I'm dead serious now. Don't sleep on this guy. He's very, very elusive. He put Florida Atlantic on the map. Who? The Owls. That's who. Seriously, think about that, man. Yep. He's quick. He runs hard. Granted, he doesn't have great straight line speed, but he's got a nose for the end zone.
Okay.
And it's going to be great for him to learn behind two, I think, Hall of Fame caliber running backs in LaShawn McCoy and Frank Gore.
The ageless wonder.
Oh, yeah. The ageless wonder.
He's a fantastic change of pace back.
Baby gorilla.
And I think being able to have some of these pieces in place for Josh Allen will allow him to be able to take that next step in his evolution. Mm-hmm. I think it's a little easy to sit there and say, oh, Baker Mayfield is going to be the guy because now he's got Odell, he's got David Njoku, who's starting to actually finally blossom,
right,
like what you were talking about. Jarvis Landry, he's got Nick Chubb, he's got a good enough offensive line.
And he's got Antonio Callaway.
Antonio Callaway, exactly. But what about the Bills? What about Josh Allen? I'm picking him to be my Patrick Mahomes of the 2019 NFL season.
There's one problem.
What?
They play the Patriots twice a year.
Look what granted, yes. But in that second time that the Patriots played the Bills last year, the Bills hung with them hard.
I agree.
Really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
And that was after Josh Allen came back from his injury as well. Right. And he did some really good things against a New England secondary that made Jared Goff look like straight garbage.
Yep.
Argue that. That's all I got, man.
I like Josh Allen.
I mean,
I like Josh Allen, cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think
I like him better than Darnold.
Yeah, I can.
I had a rank, and obviously this is my unprofessional opinion. I had Baker 1, and then I had Allen, and then I had Darnold, then I had way down here Rosen.
Wow.
Followed maybe by Lamar Jackson, I'm guessing.
I didn't have Lamar Jackson
on your board. Yeah.
I don't like those types of quarterbacks.
Forget Lamar Jackson.
They're too volatile.
I don't like Lamar Jackson at all. I don't like a run first quarterback.
Yeah, you got to change the whole offense for him.
I do not like him, man. I don't like him. He don't even go.
It's really, and they get hurt. Difficult
go through your progressions, man.
They get hurt. He's small. Look at Cam Newton. That dude's a giant. He's still getting hurt.
He's still getting hurt. Yeah, he just had shoulder surgery.
Yeah, he may not play this year.
Lamar Jackson is way too much like Robert Griffin, like RG3.
Oh, yeah.
In the fact that he's built very, very spindly.
And they're on the same team.
If you thump him wrong, he's going to get hurt.
RG3 is Lamar Jackson's backup, too.
I don't like.
They could be on QB3 before the end of the season. The Ravens.
This is going to sound messed up just after because I done tore him down already. But at least Patrick Mahomes looks to pass before he runs. Like I just not a run first quarterback type of dude. I actually like pocket passers, and I had argued with an old man at my job because I don't know. You know, these old cats, they think they know everything. The death of the pocket passers. Ain't nobody want pocket passers no more. Well, looky here, you nincompoop. Every time you look at a Super Bowl, who's in the Super Bowl, partner?
TB12.
They're pocket passers.
TB12. Tom Brady.
Golf. Tom Brady. Before that, who was
Peyton
it?
Manning, Drew Brees.
Come on,
Past 3 Super Bowls has been Tom Brady.
Nick Foles.
Yeah, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. I mean, come on. Pocket passers get to Super Bowls. I don't give a damn how many running quarterbacks you got. They get to Super Bowl. Cam Newton really has been the most recent running quarterback that actually made it to a Super Bowl.
And
That's
lost.
true.
And lost.
Yeah.
And got beat up in the
He got
process.
beat up.
You're
You
right.
are right about
We
that.
knocked him from that one end of the end zone to the other.
I mean, Russell Wilson would be the running-est quarterback.
Yeah,
And he
that's
still
actually
looks to
win
pass.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. And Russell looks to pass first, though.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He does. He looks to pass first.
So I think
Rodgers
that's it, guys.
Yeah,
All right,
I mean,
well,
good, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got a son to go get.
I understand that. Guys, thank you all so much for listening. And, of course, thank you guys for participating
All day.
on this show, man. I just want to say, on behalf of all of us here at Sports at Night, myself, Todd, the Coach Knight, Javon Superman Miller, Will, the Beard Trahan.
Go Braves.
We'll see you on the other side, baby.
Woo! Yeah. Okay. Oh man, that was fun. I got it.